Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I'm doing the end of year book tag. Also, it's going to be the TBR for the first 2 weeks of December for me. I'm going back to Colorado for the holidays, so I will be reading more books there, except that I can't always differentiate which books I have where, which means that I will be doing another TBR when I get back. Anyway, let's get started. The first question is, are there any books you need to finish this year? And for that I have two, both of which I'm currently reading, so I will finish them by the end of the year. The first one is The Siege by Ismail Kadare. I hope I said that right. This is an Islamic empire trying to invade an Albanian fortress, and obviously it's a siege. That's it. The writing style is actually pretty good, but more when I finish it. The next one is The Covenant by James Michener. This one I have been hearing raves about from my family members, so I'm about 100 pages into it. It's 1,200 pages. It's about South Africa, just sort of through time, so I'm excited to read it and I am enjoying it. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? I don't really do themed books based on seasons typically, because there's maybe 5 books that I can name that have a specific season I associate with them. That said, for this one I'm going with Dragonfly in Amber by Diana Gabaldon, I don't know. This one is the second in the Outlander series. I've heard really good things about the entire series. I did really enjoy the first one as well, so I'm looking forward to reading it, but I'm also really nervous because of how the first one ended, and I've been putting off reading this for over a year. Is there a new release you are waiting for? No, there is not. As far as I'm aware, all of the new releases that I was looking forward to have come out, and the next ones I have start in January. What are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? The first one is Game of Queens by Sarah Gristwood. I really like the cover of this one, and also it talks about queens in the Renaissance period, so 1600s, a little bit 14 as well, and that's the period that I adore, so I will be very excited to read this one. Also, Long May She Reign by Rhiannon Thomas. This is a fantasy about a girl who was 22nd or 23rd in line for the throne, and suddenly everybody in front of her dies, so she's queen and now has to deal with that. And another one, because there's many more that I want to read before the end of the year, but for the purposes of this question, the third one is La Sombra del Viento by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which is a historical fiction set in World War II, and this kid's father takes him to a cemetery of forgotten books where he finds a book called La Sombra del Viento, or The Shadow of the Wind, and he can take it according to the rules of this cemetery and loves it. So I'm very excited to read this. I've heard great things. I've just been putting it off because it takes me longer to read things in Spanish. The fifth question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become a favorite by the end of the year? I think maybe The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace could be this book for me. Primarily because I've already read it once. It took maybe 45 minutes. It's a real short read. It's a collection of poetry, but that poetry makes a story with a plot line. There's a princess and towers and dragons, and read it. However, there are many trigger warnings in this, such as rape, abuse, eating disorders. Go into this book with caution. That said, I really did enjoy my first read-through of this book. I gave it a 4.5, maybe a 4.75, I'm undecided. So on a second read-through, I have very high hopes that it could become one of my top 5 of the year. Last question is, have I already started making plans for 2018? Of course I have. To name a few, there's Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, which is the 4th book in the Red Rising series. It used to be a trilogy, but apparently it's now a quartet. And also the next Trials of Apollo book, the next Red Queen book by Victoria Aveyard, and the next Throne of Glass book. I have already pre-ordered several of those, and I'm quite excited about them. Also, I have Everless on pre-order, which comes out January 2nd, because the cover looks beautiful and it sounds interesting. Time is used as a currency. So that's the end of the year book tag, and now Like I said before, I have 2 sort of different December TBRs, so during the next 2 weeks while I'm still in North Dakota, I also want to read The Bully Book by Eric Congale. He is associated with the group Star Kid, which is, at least I think, pretty big on YouTube. They've done multiple shows, a Harry Potter parody trilogy, and other things like that. So I'm quite excited to read this one. He came out with a new book recently, The Wizard's Dog, which I also want to read, but I haven't bought yet, so I need to get on that, but I would like to read this one first. I also want to read Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This book delves into the racism issues that the United States is facing specifically right now, so I am excited to read this, and it is pretty short, so it shouldn't take me very long. The last book that I would like to get through in the next 2 weeks anyway is The Egypt Game by Zilpha Keatley Snyder. This would be a reread for me because I read it in middle school and I'm really looking forward to it. That is the end of this video, so if you liked it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button down below. Like I said, I will be coming back with another December TBR, but you've got a couple weeks before then. So in the meantime, I'll see you soon. Bye!